Across WA, this is Spirit Drive, thanks to Chandler McLeod Group, your mining and resources recruitment specialists. Many vacancies. Apply today. cmgjobs.com.au.
Right across Western Australia, we're driving home on the Spirit. Joining us on the line is Aussie comedian Nazeem Hussain. You've seen him on a number of television shows over the years, including Legally Brown and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. For the more observant viewers out there, you may have seen him on community television and then SBS with the show Salam Cafe. Now he's on Channel 7's new sketch comedy, Orange is the New Brown. Nazeem, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Very well, thank you very much. I must bring up Salam Cafe first because you worked alongside the project's Waleed Ali. There was an interesting moment in the Age newspaper a few years back where they couldn't tell you both apart. Did face meet palm when that was brought to your attention?
That was really funny. I mean, we still laugh about that. We catch up pretty regularly, but I still don't know how they made that mistake. And the thing is, mathematically, because there were only two of us, two brown people on TV at the time, or approximately, you'd think there'd be less of a chance that they'd make that mistake. But anyway, it was funny. No, actually, and Susan Carlin, she just had a show debut on SBS as well, and she was also on Salam Cafe. So it's been a bit of a weird trajectory. We never really thought we'd be doing television all these years later. Yeah,
well, who knew newspapers could dabble into comedy? Actually, now I think about it, a number of columnists and commentators are pretty hilarious, but that's another issue entirely. Orange is the New Brown, obviously. Has a certain streaming service that rhymes with bet kicks tried to call you recently about that title?
You know what? No one has, and I figure it's Channel 7's problem and their lawyers. I don't really know the legalities around it, but we were just brainstorming names, and they seemed happy with it, and the production company seemed happy. So, I'm sure at some point down the track, if it is super successful, then we'll get a few phone calls and letters. But right now, I'm sure they don't really care.
Your secret's safe with us and the rest of Western Australia this afternoon. Now, Nazeem, how did you start your comedy journey? And I guess, how has the comedy circuit changed over the years from when you started to where we are right now in 2018?
Well, as you said, I was sort of mucking around on community television with Waleed and friends. For Salam Cafe, and that was it wasn't really comedy intentionally. We were just hanging out, talking about life on that show Salam Cafe, and I used to do a bit of I guess you could call it now stand-up in hindsight with the community. I used to do community work with young people, and I think the best way to make them listen is to make them laugh, and so I think I used to sort of end up finding myself doing stand-up, and that's kind of how I started. And then I did Raw Comedy, which is an amateur open mic competition with the Melbourne Comedy Festival. And, all these years later, I'm doing sketch comedy. But, really comedy hasn't changed a whole lot. Obviously the style of comedy changes, but the purpose and the audience is pretty similar. People keep talking to me now about political correctness and how sensitive audiences are and whether it's difficult to do comedy now. But as far as I can remember, audiences have been exactly the same. Comedy works when you're sort of straddling that line between what's acceptable and what's challenging. So, I don't know, I feel like you've always got to respond with the times and reflect the audience that you're speaking to.
Well, how crucial is comedy in breaking down society's barriers? Is the role more important than ever in this kind of fake news world that we're surrounded by?
I don't really know how much of a tool or a political tool comedy is or can be used. But I feel like it's a good way to, maybe if you can't talk about things with comedy, you can at least joke about them. Yeah. And then it's almost like the soundtrack to any political activism or movement. Like it's not like if it changes the world, I think, but I think if you're laughing about things that make you feel upset or that are absurd, at least maybe you feel internally like empowered or something. I feel like for me, people are like, does it change the world? I feel like it's in a way the same sort of thing like going to a rally. Like you go to a rally, you don't necessarily change the world. You're often hanging around people that think the same. Yeah. But you at least feel like you're amongst like-minded people. You're all yelling in the same direction. So, that's comedy.
Nazeem Hussain is the major star behind Orange is the New Brown on Channel 7 and GWN 7 tonight. We'll be back with plenty more right after this. Spirit Drive.
On the Spirit. Matt Layton driving you home.
Aussie comedian Nazeem Hussain joins me right now on the line, right here. Spirit Drive, good afternoon. Well, Orange is the New Brown. I've got to say congratulations. Solid debut last Thursday on Channel 7. You've obviously been awarded that marquee time slot that used to have fast forward and full frontal back in the day.
Oh, God.
But it is no secret, though. Sketch comedy is a tough nut to crack in this country, in this day and age. I mean, how did you feel when you realised a network like 7 was interested in your show?
Oh, I mean, we sort of didn't really start to think about the, those shows that we were probably psychologically up against in the audience mind. But yeah, like the more I've been talking about the show with people, and it's been getting close to debuting. People have been speaking about the return of sketch comedy to commercial TV and some of the great shows that Australia's produced, and Australia has produced the best sketch comedy in the world, in my opinion. We've done it really well, and I think that's because it's really honest and it is relatable, and it's silly and it's loud and it's large, and I feel like we've given it a good crack. Audiences seem to respond, but it's hard to compete with those big names, and I think only time can really tell. But we're having fun, and like at the end of the day, so long as people are laughing, I think that's what matters, and people seem to be. Twitter's nice at the moment. Twitter hasn't annihilated us yet.
That's very, very good to hear, because I know that did kill that Ben Elton show about 8 or so years ago. So
yeah.
But good to know when you're on the right side of social media, you're certainly doing something right then.
Thanks, man. Or there are a bunch of weirdos left. We're playing to them.
Yeah, well, that's it. I want to bring up also I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, because there was a lot of press around how you'd go in the jungle with Conservative commentator Steve Price. He's gone on the record saying he became a changed man after that experience, and hearing about your personal story. I mean, not everyone can say they've been influential in some way, but I reckon you can.
Look, I don't know. I don't know if, I'd love to take credit for Steve's transformation, but I think it was just more the experience, the thing is, and he was saying, at his age, you don't really do things outside your comfort zone, so you're never really forced to change or to challenge your own beliefs or views and opinions. So, yeah, it's reality television. At the end of the day, the product is a reality television program, but the experience for those people in there was profound. I found it nothing but profound. It was, you're stripped of everything, no phones, no communication with the outside world, no normal food. You're hanging out with people you didn't choose to hang out with, or, you didn't know who they were going in, and then you have to find a way to make it tolerable in a very small space. You've got to kind of get along like a family, and that can only transform you. So, no, it was amazing. I had a great time.
Do you still chat to a few old cast members of that show as well?
All the time. We're in pretty constant contact, texting, and if not, catching up. And, I was just in WA, and Steve was in WA as well, and trying to catch up. But, it's strange, It's sort of, I don't think you can say that you've ever, not many people even get to spend that much amount of continuous time with their own family. So it was really strange experience. Brought us together.
Well, worst comes to worst, if you want more Steve Price fix, just call him up on the open line. I'm sure he'll be available all the time.
Absolutely. He'll take your calls on his show.
Well, back to Orange is the New Brown. You've certainly attracted a lot of big names in the industry, like Gary Sweet, Tim Minchin. Kamal, I have not heard that name since Hey Hey It's Saturday moved the country backwards about 20 years. But how did you get all of them to sign up for this wacky adventure?
Oh man, I have no idea. We just asked, and then hey, we just thought we'll just ask and see if they say yes. And most people started saying yes. I think these people, these serious actors are actually not so serious, and they're really funny naturally, and that's what was annoying. They were so good at being funny, whereas this is my full-time job. They'll just walk on and just do like a riff line. Kamal on tonight's episode, he's in a sketch with Tim Minchin, and bizarre. I never even thought in my wildest dreams I'd be doing a sketch with Tim Minchin and Kamal. He's 86. 86 years of age.
Wow.
And, he's not slowing down at all. He, learned his lines. He was riffing jokes, coming up with new comedy angles. He's just, and people falling over themselves to take photos with Kamal. It was, talk to him like, he's just, no one sees Kamal and doesn't feel happy. Like, he's just one of those guys. Lights up the room.
Well, Nazeem, what's on your radar heading towards the end of this year? Are you working on any more new projects, or are you hopefully continuing this baby to grow?
Oh, look, I mean, we'd love to do more of this show. I'm also just doing stand-up, getting ready for the stand-up tour next year. You know, I'll be coming to Perth, maybe some regional towns as well. But yeah, just really stand up and a bit of a family holiday. I've got myself me and my wife, a 6.5-month child. So
yeah,
we're just trying to get some quality time in. But you know, otherwise just stand up and more funny stuff wherever I can.
Yeah, we also broadcast to Karratha. You were in the Pilbara recently as well.
Man, that was great. I had no expectation, didn't know what to expect in Karratha. Shout out to everyone there.
Yeah.
But it was probably one of my favourite shows this year. It was that was just super fun, and people took me out afterwards, and I had a great time. Really, really fun place to be. I never thought I'd say that about Karratha. I knew nothing about it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess finally, what are you hoping to achieve with Orange is the New Brown? What are you hoping audiences will take away from it?
Look, I just want people to laugh, and if they laugh, then maybe we'll do more of it. But if they don't find it funny, well then we just
jump on the Twitter.
Exactly. Look, just tune in, have a laugh, and look, try not to be serious. Just let your guard down a little, and you might enjoy the show. Yeah,
couldn't say it better myself. Of course, it returns episode 2 tonight, 8:30 on Channel 7 and GWN 7. Orange is the New Brown. Thank you very much for joining us, Nazeem.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
That's Nazeem Hussain here on Spirit Drive. We'll be back right after this.